Welcome to Godot Essential, the series where we learn Godot step by step without getting overwhelmed. In the last episode, we created a script, wrote our very first line of code in GDScript, and printed the messages in the output console of Godot's editor. Now it's time to learn one of the most important concepts in every programming language: variables. This lesson is especially important, so take your time. If it feels strange or confusing at first, don't worry, that's completely normal. Rewatch this video as many times as you need, because once the idea clicks, variables suddenly feel natural, simple, and very useful. What are variables? Variables are a way to store information inside the game, so you can reuse it whenever you need. An easy way to picture it is to imagine a little box. You can put one thing inside this box, then you keep it nearby, and whenever you need what's inside, you just open it and use it. If you want to change what's inside the box, you throw out the old thing and put in something new. But you still keep the same box, only its content has changed. For example, a game might remember your player's name. At the start, it puts the name inside the box, then the game can use it whenever needed. On the inventory screen, in a dialogue with an NPC, or even for a high score. It's always the same box, opened again and again. And if the player changes their name, the game doesn't need a new box. It just swaps what's inside. The same variable, but with a new value. One very important rule: a variable can only hold one item at a time. If you want something new, you must replace what was there before. Let's try it in Godot. Back in the script we created in the last episode, clean up everything under ready. Start simple with a print just like before. Run the game and the console shows Bruce Wallace. So far so good. Now let's store that text inside a box, a variable. Above the print line, add this line. Here what this means. Var tells Godot to create a variable. Box is the label of our box. It's the name we'll use to find it later. Equal sign asks Godot to put what is coming next inside the box. Bruce Wallace is the content we put inside the box. Now change the print line to show the box instead of writing the text directly. Notice that we don't use quotation mark this time. Run the game. The console prints Bruce Wallace. Great! You just created and used your first variable in Godot. Why no quotation marks around the variable name? The answer is simple. If you write box like this and run the game, the console shows box. Because with quotation marks, Godot thinks you literally want to print the word box. But if you write box without quotes, Godot understands show me the content of a variable called box. So the console shows Bruce Wallace in this case. That's the big difference. With quotes, you print exact text. Without quotes, you print the content of a variable. Understanding this distinction is very important for what is coming next. Feel free to rewind the video to watch this section again if it's still unclear. You might wonder, why not just print the text directly? The answer is simple. Because variables can change during the game. If you hardcode some text inside the print instruction, it's always the same for everyone. But with variable, each player can have a different name. The game stores the player's real name inside the box, then reuse it everywhere it's needed. Try changing the box's value by changing its contents. Now the console shows Silverstone. Variables become even more powerful when you update them while the game is running. Let's add a couple of lines after the first print. Notice something important here. We didn't write var again the second time. Why? Because Godot read the script from top to bottom, step by step. When it first saw var box equals Silverstone, it created box. By the time it reaches box Harold Schwartz, Godot already knows the box exists, so we don't need to ask for a new one. We are just replacing what's inside. If we wrote var again, Godot will think we are trying to create a new variable with the same name, and that will cause an error. Now run the game, and you should see Silverstone, then Harold Schwartz. Perfect! You've just learned how to update the value of a variable during runtime. This is exactly how such a menu works. As characters are switched, their names update accordingly, thanks to only one variable updating its value during runtime. So far, we've called our variable box. That works, but it's not very clear. Imagine later in a big game with thousands of boxes. You'll quickly forget what's inside each one. That's why developers usually give names that describe what is stored. For example, instead of writing this, we could rename our variable player name and update the print instruction accordingly with the new variable name. The result is exactly the same. The console still prints my great player name. The only difference is that the label on the box is clearer. When you read the code, you instantly know this variable is holding the player's name. So remember, the name of a variable doesn't change the content or how it works. It just makes your code easier to read and understand. Let's recap. A variable is like a box with a label. It can hold information, like a player name. You can print its content. You can replace what's inside, but it always holds only one thing at a time. Quotation marks make Godot print literal text, while no quotes mean use the content of the variable. And choosing clear variables names makes your code much easier to understand. Variables are one of the most powerful tools in programming. And now you know how they work. Congratulations! In the next episode, you'll face your first practice challenge to reinforce what you've learned so far. See you there!